And now, Journey to Success with Pete Asmus. Tonight, we are going to be going over mindset to action steps and everything in between. We are about you, focusing on what you need to get to that next level. So get ready, get excited, because we are about to get started. From coast to coast, your host, Pete, the visionary pitbull, Asmus.
Woo! All right, there we go. I think this is great, man. I think that's a good emotional song to get started to, because hey, this is Journey to Success, right? And in Journey to Success, it's all about moving forward. It's about moving through your journey to success. So, as we get started tonight's focus is going to be on how to create urgency. How do we create that urgency? And a lot of it is going to deal with how we communicate with ourselves, right? Um, when we talk about how to get started, how do you leverage into something? How do you create that drive inside of you, right, to move forward? And I think a lot of it deals with NLP, or neuro linguistic programming, and it's about how you communicate with yourself. It's the words that we use and the way that we say them that are going to impact those decisions that we make and the things that we do. So we're going to talk a lot about NLP tonight, how it works, how you can get it to work with you. And in fact, a lot of this book that we're talking about right now, right? Questions are the key. A lot of this is NLP. I mean, NLP is really the whole way of how do we react when we hear certain things. It's the communication, and it basically brings it all the way down to like a neurological level, right? So it's actual responses that our brains are going to kick in and give. And sometimes we can change those things. We can alter the way that we view things. One of the challenges and one of the real successes that I had was when looking at adversity, when looking at challenges, was getting excited about it, looking forward to it, because I knew that I would change. I knew that if all this bad stuff was happening around me, that only good can come from it. I mean, there was only up to go, right? I could only go up, right? Because I was already down. I felt like in the lowest part of where I was. It's funny. This week, I was asked to kind of share how I got started in real estate and possibly some of the challenges that I had. And I hadn't really talked about that in a long time. When I started doing real estate, right, and I got into speaking, and I was working at EWI and Robert Allen and Armando Montalongo and stuff. You know, it was a every week thing. I was up in front, and I'm, hey, this is how I got started, and this is why I got started. Da 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 da. But I hadn't really talked about it in a really, really long time, and it was kind of a trip, because when I got into it, it almost kind of made me emotional again, thinking about, man, the different things that I've gone through. And I think it also really levels me, and it makes it to where when you guys see me get irate about, look, you got to take responsibility for where you are, you've got to do this, it's because of where I was. It's because you can't tell me that you've got it rough. There's nothing that you can say to me that is going to make me think, oh man, okay, I get it, yeah, you had it way worse. Because to me, I mean, I don't know, maybe you did, but to me, I don't think that anybody had it way worse than I did. I mean, I was homeless. I had my son had cancer. My daughter has alopecia. I mean, there's all kinds of challenges around the world, and around me. And I don't want to get focused into that, but it really kind of made me think about, how did I get started, and what really caused it. And so I want to kind of share that story with you guys tonight. Tonight is about NLP. It's about creating urgency. It's about how do you communicate with yourself. And I want to share with you guys, it's probably not going to be all positive right now off the bat, right? It's going to be kind of jacked up a little bit, but I want to share with you guys mentally where I was at. And I want to show you guys that, when you focus on the negative crap overtakes your life. And when you focus on what the possibilities are, all of a sudden all the darkness goes away. It's the craziest thing. So let me share a little bit. I'll give you a really quick background, and bring you up to where I started doing real estate. But when I was a teenager, I was kicked out. I lived out on on the streets. I lived on top of Alpha Beta. I slept on the stupid little tiny rocks, man. I cannot stand sleeping on flat surfaces. But 3 weeks I slept up there. Finally, I was stealing out of Alpha Beta for food. And finally, the state, California, was not okay with that, right? So I got taken and I was put into this like halfway house. And then from the halfway house, they didn't think that was okay because I didn't like authority, right? Surprise. And I got jacked into a place called Orangewood that's in California. And Orangewood is it's in Orange, California, and it's kind of weird. It's like this I don't know, melting pot, right? Because they have kids from 6 months old to almost 18, right? And all this different variations, and they're all looking for places to go. And so I ended up going, and I lived in a group home. So there was 6 other kids. They're all like basically my age, right? And all the way through high school. And so for me, I didn't understand like kids that they got to stay at home, like that was crazy to me. I didn't understand what that was like. I didn't get to live off my parents. I didn't get to do any of that stuff, right? It was all about how am I going to survive. And so at 18 I went into the Navy because I didn't have any other options. There was nobody's house to go stay at. There was nothing for me to do like that. So the only option for me was I had to find a solution. So I went into the Navy. I went into the Navy because I didn't want to run at bullets, and I liked to be comfortable, and I figured, okay, well, I took that test and I could either be a nuke, I think it was, or an ET. And so I picked ET because I didn't want to go to a bunch more school, but I still wanted to have a better pay rate and da 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 da. So anyways, I got into the Navy. um when I was there, I realized that I didn't like authority at all, like at all. I don't like authority. I just doesn't work for Pete. I don't like being told I have an ultimatum because I will just buck it. I will not going to do it. Don't tell me I have to do it, because if I have to do it, I won't do it. If you're asking me to do it, then I'm going to be excited about it. But I didn't like that. And then you get somebody that's an asshole, right? And now they're above you, and it's this whole didn't work for me. Dictator thing didn't work. So I got out. I left. I didn't want to do that anymore. And I ended up going into college, and I found my true calling, which was, I think, acting and entertaining, and just being in front of people, making people laugh, watching, turning their state from you know sad to happy, right? And for me, it still kind of works like that, because when I inspire people, it's the same concept. It's the same thing of bringing somebody from where they feel like they're hopeless to where they feel like they can take on the world. And so to me, that's the same thing. I knew that's what I wanted to do. And when let's see. So I went through college, going up, ended up getting involved at working out, and then I started selling cars. I think at some well, I did at some point. And I realized I didn't want to do that either, because that was all about telling people that, well, your car's not worth anything, when it really was. And I didn't like that. I didn't like lying to people. I did well, but I did well in a way that nobody liked it, because I gave everything away. I just would tell people, look, man, you can just, we're going to end up doing this. So if you go here, here's how you can do. And I would always give people their best deal. And I ended up, I think, selling like 100 cars or something in my first year. And then I was like, I'm done. I don't want to do this. This is not fun. There's so much involved, and you lose so much of your time with your family. And it just, I didn't like it. So ended up, I realized that, hey, I want to do something different. I'm going to go and I'm going to sell the most expensive cars on these lots, the Cadillacs, and I'm going to meet somebody that sees my value. And that's what I thought. That is literally what I thought. Within 4 months, I had met somebody who sold him a car, and he's like, I like what you're doing. We have this pool company called Extreme Clean. Would you like to come check it out? And so I went and checked it out. They had done $5,000 in one distributor here in California. And I said, well, what makes it different? Why is this such a great product? And they explained to me how it works and everything. And I said, okay, well, I'm in then. Let's make this happen. And within the first year, I took it from 5,000 in one distributor to $500,000 in profit. And we were from California to Texas and 50 different distributors. I understood how to get people excited about something that was real, that worked, right? And all the way over to Texas. And right when I hit Texas, um, I ended up getting a phone call on a Sunday, and my son had been taken to the hospital, and he had brain cancer. It was called medulloblastoma. And I just remember, like, at that point, my life just seemed like it just ended. I was crushed. I ended up losing that whole thing that I was building because I couldn't focus. All I cared about was my son. I just cared about him being alive, and nothing else mattered, right? The problem with nothing else mattering is that you're now not building your life. I didn't set up my life prior to that, right? So now I'm just in this downward spiral. And I realized that I had to make some kind of change. And so I got involved in real estate. And that's when I went to a Robert Allen thing. I got involved in mobile homes and da 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 da. So fast forward all that stuff. Ended up being involved and had somebody take us for I don't know. This guy ended up lying and cheating and stealing and ended up screwing a lot of people. And some of my students would have been key players in that debacle, right? So for me, it was like I couldn't live with that. I couldn't live with the fact that legally I wasn't responsible, but because of everything that happened, it wasn't morally for me, it wasn't right. And I couldn't walk away. So I basically put all the rest of my money into that deal, into this whole project thing, fixed everything, and then walked away because all these projects weren't even mine. So I put all my money into their projects and then walked away for them to get the profit. And I knew at the time, man, there was a lot of people that were like, that was stupid. You should have never done that. You should have never done that. And then for like 4 or 5 months, I really felt like that because I got down to probably one of my lowest points. It was like, man, I had all this stuff. And because of this one thing, it completely destroyed what I was building. And I got it taken away. And it's weird because I remember being up on stage and I remember listening to speakers all the time say, you could take everything away from me and it's okay because I could rebuild it. And I remember thinking, well, yeah, but nobody's ever going to do that. I mean, how would that happen? And then it literally happened to me. And I remember thinking that, man, I've got two choices right now. I could either take my car and drive off that cliff and not have to worry about anything, or I'm going to have to step up. And it doesn't matter that it was his fault or her fault or their fault. Like none of that shit matters because right now I'm in a situation that sucks and I've got to get out of it. So what am I going to do to get out of it? And then I had to start talking to myself like I was a student of mine, right? Well, what would you do, Pete? Well, look, this is what you need to do. And I started having these weird conversations with myself, right? And I remember being at the gym and it was like, okay, I've got two choices. And I can't keep going down both paths. At some point, I need to step up and make one choice. And I started thinking about what my daughters would be like growing up. And I started thinking about if I wasn't in their life, like how would I feel knowing that I stopped my life and I prevented their lives from being as fulfilled as possible. And really more from a selfish standpoint, it was like, man, I want to be there to see them. I want to be proud of them. I want that to happen. It's like, all right, well, if I want that to happen, then what am I going to do right now to stop being a baby? That's not the word I want to use, but stop being a baby and to grow up. And I made that decision right then and there that I was never going to be in that situation again, and that I would do no matter what. I am responsible for wherever I am, and that was I think 3.5 years ago now. Maybe 2.5 years ago. I don't know, somewhere in there. It wasn't though. But the point I'm making is that it wasn't 8 years ago before I started. I mean, this is stuff that happened in the middle of it. And so many times I know that you guys sit there and go, well, I don't understand. Why is this not working for me? And you don't realize that there are people that have been doing it 10 years and something goes wrong and it doesn't work for them either. And they've got to start all over. But what's the big point to this? The big point is when you stop is when you fail. When you give up is when you fail. If you get knocked down, who cares? That's okay. I mean, I know you care, but the reality is that it's just a situation. It's just a bump in the road. It is a snapshot in time. And I was either going to let that define me or I wasn't. And I wasn't. It wasn't going to define me. And I want you guys to understand that bad situations, bad instances, bad circumstances, they don't define you. They don't have to define you now. They don't have to define you in the future. And they certainly don't define your past. They're just something that happened. Now, if you made stupid decisions, I don't know. I mean, I guess how would you ask that question, right? Did you look at that thing and go, okay, well, this would be a good way and this is a bad way, so F it, I'm doing a bad way. That's the way I'll go. No, typically that's not how we think, right? We're making the best decision that we can based on the information that we have. So when you look back at your past, you don't go, I made a mistake. You go, I made the best decision I could based on that information. What I need is more information. And then I'll be able to what? Make better decisions, right? So what I'm all about doing and what I'm all about creating is better decisions for you, creating a better environment so that you can have better decisions. You can make better choices, right? Because you have more opportunity, you have more resources. And that's what Coast to Coast is all about. That's what Journey to Success, the Experts Corner, Bird Dog to Intern, all these webinars that we're doing, the daily, during the week, the radio show, all this stuff that we're doing that I'm really spearheading, right, is all about providing just a ton of information. So you're constantly getting motivated. Look, think about this. Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, right? Every other day, you can tune into one of our webinars, meaning that you don't ever go three or 4 days without hearing us, without being inspired, without staying in step, because that's where you're going to fall off. You're going to fall off. It isn't the weekend where you get all amped up and ready to go, right? It's Monday when you go back to your life and there's your wife and there's your husband and there's, your coworkers and they're telling you this crap and that crap and oh, the world is ending. And now everything that you just worked on building is gone, right? You basically just went, see ya, and you launched it. Why do you want to launch it? You don't want to launch it, right? You want to keep what you're building. So, how are we going to keep what we're building? And how are we going to start getting built? How are we going to start building in the first place, right? It's going to come through creating urgency. And creating urgency is all about the way that you talk to yourself. It's about the words that you use and the intensity behind which you use them, right? If I tell you guys this every week, it seems like, but I think it's such a powerful word or such a powerful question of getting up in the morning, doing what, anytime I have any kind of real, I don't know, pushback about doing something, I always look at it and I go, look, am I giving all I can or would that be doing more? Am I giving all I can give right now? Am I doing everything I can to move towards my goal? What is my goal? Do I really care about it, right? Because if your goal is undefined, I was talking to somebody about this today. If you don't know where you're going, it's impossible to get there. You want to make sure that the actions you're doing are dictated by the results that you want. You understand what I'm saying? You're focused on the results. And because golly, that was water. What is going on? Because you're focused on the results, that means that any action that you're taking leading up are all designed around getting you to what? Getting you to that result. If, however, you just go, well, this would be a cool idea, and this is a cool idea, and this is a cool idea, and there's a cool idea, and that one is cool, and that, you have no idea where you're going. You're doing all these cool ideas, but who knows where it's going to take you, right? Now, if you're on a vacation and you're just kind of cruising around, that's a great strategy. But if you're in life and you're getting to your destination, to your goal, to your dream, I mean, do you want to be playing bumper cars all the way there, or do you want to get there? Do you want it to take a week, or do you want it to take a day? Now, I've asked this before too. I ask this consistently. Are you setting your goals every day? Are you writing down your goals every day? Gil is writing down his goals every day. At least for the last 2 days, I've been seeing him 2 or 3 days. He writes them down and posts them up and at least tags me in it because I see it every week or every day. I mean, why wouldn't you want to do that? 1, you're scared. 2, you don't want to look stupid. 3, it's too much work. It's too much work. Come on, Pete. Seriously? Like I got to write down my goals and then tag you in it on Facebook? That's too much work. That's too crazy. But you know what? Can you please help me I want to reach my destiny. I want to be successful. Did you write down your goals? No, that's too much work. But can you help me reach my destiny? I want to hit my goals. I want to be a millionaire. But you don't want to write down your goals because that's too much work. But I'm confused. How is that too much work? 3-4 minutes to write down your goals and tag me in Facebook. That's too much work. But reaching $1 million in income is going to be a piece of cake for you, right? It's not. You've got to get outside of your comfort zone. You've got to start breaking habits. You need to write down your goals every day and tag me in them. Write down your goals every day and tag me in them. That's it. Write down your goals every day and tag me in them. Twitter, Facebook, I don't care. LinkedIn, doesn't matter. Do it however it is that you want to do it. But if you're afraid to put out your goals because you're afraid of what your friends are going to think, you're an idiot. You're never going to get where you want to go because you're too worried about what other people think. If oh my God, I cannot wait for this TV show, man. Holy cow. I would love for somebody to tell me that they think they would be embarrassed, because I will straight up put you in a tutu right out on the corner going, I'm an idiot because I didn't listen to Pete. I mean, these are things that I'm literally going to do. And, it's like, I was talking, I put out some things on Facebook about looking for a deal. I need to get 2 deals going in Southern California. If you guys are talking about, man, I've always wanted to get involved, I've wanted a JV, this is your chance. Why? Because I've had a couple, I've had a casting director call me about a TV show, and we've talked now for about 4 hours on a few different meetings, talking about what we want to do and what we want to put together. And I know that there's a lot of things coming down the pike. And so I need to be lucky. And luck is just preparation meeting opportunity. And now that I can see what's going to happen, I need to have some properties and projects that are going around me so that I can actually go and video them, right? So now I'm at a position where, and I started thinking about this, and it almost kind of pissed me off when I thought about it, because this is what I thought on the way to the gym this morning. All right, so I've got to get I want to get 2 properties going this month. Let's get 2 properties going, and I need to get them going with 2 students. I need to get them going with people that don't really know what's going on yet, so that way I'm helping somebody do it. We're going to split the profit. We'll work out how that works. Maybe they have credit or money or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But the fact is I need to be showing people how to do this, right? And then I can video as it's going along, so that when when we do come back and she says, you know what, well, do you have anything that we could come out and shoot right now? I have the opportunity to say yes. Not, well, hold on, let me go get a property under contract. I don't want to do that. So then as I'm thinking about that, I'm like, okay, well, that'd be great. And then I'm like, man, why didn't I start doing this before? Like, why didn't I just take on the concept of, why don't I just start helping people and JVing with them or something like that here locally? I could walk through, show them how to put together a package, how this all works, and da 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 da. They could do a lot of the work because they need to learn how to do the work, right? And that way I could also be making more money. I mean, just it's more opportunities. If we're flipping more properties, we're making more money, right? Which gives me more ability to do more things. And I don't know. That's just what I like. So it's crazy how, when I said you have to start becoming somebody different to become somebody different, right? You got to shatter who you are for who you want to become. You got to shatter who you are for who you want to become. Meaning, I needed to become the person that's actually going out and walking people through hands-on flips here locally, in order to be the guy that is walking people through hands-on flips and is on TV. It's just realizing that you have to be what you want, and to stop. I mean, I was even putting limitations on me. And this is exactly what I mean by, this is our journey to success. It's not mine. It's not yours. It's ours. We're both learning as time goes on. I want you guys to be like, man, this is crazy. I remember listening to him when, like, there was only we've got 55 of us on tonight, right? I remember that. I remember going when I saw him in da 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 da. It's about us staying connected. It's about really having access to Ivan, to me, to all these different resources. About it being real and not just another lip service, right? Not just another yeah, but it isn't real. We are real. We're all about really providing action, about really providing motivation, and about really providing resources so that you guys can get to the next level. But that takes what? That takes both of us, right? So it's not just me, it's you too. All right. So questions are the key to unlocking your reality and focusing through the fear, and focus through the fear. To unlock your reality and focus through the questions are the key to unlock your reality and focus through the fear. Man, that is one long title, but it's questions are the key is my short one. And the reason that I had this is because when I started writing this book, I realized that, what was it that I was being asked? Because when I wrote Force Your Dreams into Reality, it was the what you needed to do. And people were still afraid, right, to go forward. And it's like, okay, well, what's the problem then? And I realized that the way that I focused through the fear was by asking different questions. I focused on different things. I focused on different results. I didn't worry about what wasn't working. I didn't look at what wasn't working. All I looked at was what could I do? Because that's the only thing I could grab onto, that I could hold on to, right? Get my fingers on. It was all about what could I do? Because if I focused on what I couldn't do or what I didn't have, holy crap, man, I was going to drive off the cliff, right? And I wasn't okay with that. So I needed to figure out a different way. So it's all about creating that new you. It's all about creating that base, that where are you coming from? And questions are always going to be that foundation. They're always going to be that leverage point. Because if you ask great questions, if you ask good questions, if you ask okay questions, if you ask poor questions, and if you ask, crappy questions, those are the results that you're going to get. And the question is, what kind of questions do you want to ask? Do you want to ask empowering questions, questions that are going to leverage you forward? Or are you going to consistently ask those horrible questions and the ones that you're asking right now on a daily basis? Think back right now to today, right? This is kind of cool because we're at the end of the day. So let's think back on the day right now. How many times did you guys think, I can't do this? Did you say the words, I can't, think I can't? Did you think you should do something? You ought to do something? Or did you think, well, I'll get to that later? Like, did you say later at all today? Tomorrow? Next week? Right? Procrastinate at all? For me, procrastination is completely evil. It's evil. I don't procrastinate anything. If I get an email, I answer it right there. Now, that's not always the best decision because sometimes I answer it in the heat of the moment, right? Sometimes I don't read through the whole thing and I'm answering back and I didn't catch the whole deal because I'm on my phone, but I know if I don't respond right now, I will forget. So it's time to get going. And it's weird too because when I get opportunities, a lot of times I'll go and I'll just talk to everybody about them. And Ivan's before, he's like, dude, why do you got to start talking all of a sudden? Because that's how I make things happen. Because by me talking about it more and more and more, I get people either going, yeah, that's awesome, or going, yeah, that's stupid. And I'm going to figure out what kind of, like, am I hot or cold? Is this a good idea or a bad idea? Because not every idea is good, right? I mean, I have a ton of them every day. And maybe 50 of my ideas are great every day. No, I have a ton of them, right? But maybe, I don't know, one a month, one a year. I mean, God, if you have one in a lifetime, if you have one great idea in a lifetime, you've got it made. But here's the thing. For instance, last week, I had two people call me that or call us that are moving properties, and they're basically they're they're um they're doing 200 deals a month. A month. 200 deals a month, right? Wholesaling doesn't matter what you're doing at 200 deals a month. That's crazy. And so they were looking at us and going, "Hey, we want to start doing these ALFs. And we want to get to where if we have unlimited funding for them and we have the unlimited buyers who would want them once they're filled, right? What we want to be able to do is get 30 of those things to 40 of them made a week, or I'm sorry, a month." And it's like instantly my heart just stops. I'm like, "Okay, hold on. What?" And he's like, "Well, we've got enough money. We can fund. We've got funding is not a problem." And when you think about it, if they were only making $1,000 on each deal at 200 deals a month, that's $200,000 a month that they're making clearing, right? So if money's not an object, right? And they've got connections to all kinds of things. If money is not an object, and once we get the property, fill the property, staff the property, that they've got an investor that will come in now and buy this for X number of dollars based on the cash flow. Because right now what they're doing is they're buying properties, they're rehabbing properties, they're filling them with a tenant that's paying $1,500 a month, and then they're selling it as cash flow. Well, that's great, but now take that one house, same house, maybe you put an extra $50,000 into it over the rehab you were doing, right? And now you've got $10,000 a month in cash flow as opposed to $1,500 in income, right? Because if you take out the finance charge, well, then you'd have 15. So you could say you're either making 1,500 or 15,000. I mean, that's as easy as that. Which one as a cash flow investor, which one do you want? Right? And here's the other key. Okay, well, on this one, if I buy this one for 500 grand, if it's empty, right? If the tenant leaves, I'm now empty, right? So now I've got no cash flow coming in at all. If I buy this one for, say, I don't know, $750,000, right? Same house, but let's say it's 250 grand more, or I don't know, 100 grand more. I've got no idea. I'm just making numbers up at this point, but let's just say it's $100,000 more. So instead of 500, it's 600,000. And instead of $1,500 a month, it makes $15,000 a month. And if one person leaves, no big deal. It makes $12,000 a month, right? You see what I'm saying? Which one do you want to buy more? So he's telling me this, and I'm like, holy crap, man. This, okay. All right. Well, now I've got to start putting on my thinking shoes because now, okay, so let's say we open this up in 3 different markets that we're talking about. Now I've got to scale 3 markets and not scale a little bit, but scale into where they're pumping out 10 ALFs a month. That's crazy to me. So then I start thinking, I'm like, well, what about if we created it to where it was like a franchise, to where these people that are taking them over, maybe it's a little bit less, but we put everything in play and now we control all those power, the resources, right? The staffing, and we help manage all of that for them. And for that, we get, and it's like all of a sudden my brain just starts going nuts. And then I'm talking to Chris Cabacar today. And he's like, hey, I'd like to get into some more architectural stuff, right? Because he's an architect. And it's like, okay, well, it's so weird that you say that because I'm looking at these and that's one of the things that we would need, right? Because like we have a property in Phoenix right now that we started, I think Gene said we started it on October, and we're almost ready to start moving people in now, right? So like 4 months, 5 months that it took to rehab the property, but there were big things that happened. I mean, we created one big room was created into 3 small rooms, bathrooms put in everywhere, right? That's the kind of thing that Christopher can do. Now, that's not the kind of thing that I can do, right? I mean, I can sit there and grab a napkin and grab a pen and go, all right, well, this would look cool, right? But I'm going to have somebody else come in that knows something about building codes, because that's not my forte, and help. And so as we're talking, he's like, man, that's something I could get behind. And so it's like, man, this is okay. And then we're talking to somebody on Saturday. We were talking to Doug, who wants to open 2 of our chapters up in Northern California. And so he came down to kind of talk to us, interview us, find out what we were about. We were finding out what he was about, right? To get to know him a little bit more. And it turns out that he's run big crews and where he's built 500 brand new homes, right? And run crews building these and put in, first you've got the builder and the framer, and then you've got drywall and and how all these things work together. And this is somebody who would know how to build a system for all these ALFs. And I guess that's what I'm trying to share with you, that I take action. I keep talking about things. I get involved. I bring them up because who knows, right now, one of you guys may be saying, you know what, man, I would love to get involved with that. Or I know somebody who has 4 ALFs there. I don't know. Who knows what you could be thinking, right? But the reality is, if I don't say anything, you're certainly not going to think it. And here's the other thing, I'm not embarrassed to talk about it. How many times do you guys, if you're in front of people, right? And somebody's bringing up real estate and you kind of shy away because you don't want to sound stupid. If you don't want to sound stupid, start getting experience, and you won't sound stupid because you're going to be talking about experience. You want to get experience, get involved. Get on the phone, get in the bird dog program. Get with Ivan. If you don't have any money, if you don't have anything but time, then get involved in the bird dog program. Don't tell me you're too good for it. Don't tell me you're too big for it. I don't want to hear all that. If you've got money to get into different strategies, great. But if you don't, we are providing an absolute free program to get in and start providing properties to us so that we can pull the trigger on them, get them locked up, under contract, whatever, and you can get paid and learn how to do it. But you've got to step up too. There's so many different things that we're doing to get involved that, man, I honestly, at some points, it's like, I don't know what else we could do. I don't know what else we could do to provide things to you that would help to get you to take action. What would it take? What is it that you are waiting for? If you had to think of one thing, guys, the one thing that you're waiting for, what is it? Right now, just write it down. What is the one thing that you're waiting for to have happen? Thanks, Mike. Yes, I am doing it all. Well, the point of not doing it all, I want it all to happen for everybody. I was talking to another gentleman this week, and I said, look, I'm not greedy. I don't need everything. I don't even want everything. I just want a little tiny piece of everything, right? I want a little piece of everything, but I want to provide more value than than reward, I guess, that I'm getting, right? So I want to provide $1 worth of value and get 50 cents worth of return, because I know that the more value I provide, it may be 50 cents here, but it's also going to be 50 cents there, 50 cents there, 50 cents there, 50 cents there. And all of a sudden I've got $500 coming back into me off of that $1 of effort. How many times are you guys choosing, instead of going the extra mile, instead of doing more, you choose to do less because, hey, nobody's going to know. Hey, they wouldn't expect you to do it anyways, right? I mean, like, for instance, right? Chris, again, today, I needed the head for this. In fact, here, look, for this thing, right here. The head, I wanted it cut out because I had it in a square. And so I put up on Facebook, hey, could anybody help me cut this out? Because I used to have Photoshop, but I don't have it now. And so I couldn't sit there and cut around it, right? And then drop off the side of it, so that it is a PNG, or I don't know what you call that, but just an image, right? As opposed to a JPEG that is going to be a square or rectangle or whatever. And so it was awesome, man. He jumped in, cracked this thing out, and now he's making me a thing for Experts Corner. And I'm like, this is a talent. Why wouldn't you want to help me create t-shirts? I mean, and so now we're going to work on creating these t-shirts, because now I have the logo, but I needed another graphic artist to help me design what I wanted the shirts to look like. And again, it's, and so my thing was, how cool would it be if he designs a shirt and now he gets 10% of the profit of the shirt? However many shirts those sell, 1,000,000 shirts sell, he makes 1,000,000. Well, he makes 10% of whatever the profit is on 1,000,000 shirts, right? It's the concept of, again, I'm not greedy. I want to give back. I want to include all of you in what I'm doing. And when I say all of you, I'm not bullshitting you guys. I'm not saying it and going, yep, 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 yep. And I don't mean it. I do mean it. I do. So what does that mean? How do we get involved? How do you create that sense of urgency? I don't know. We're going to talk about that, because if I'm sitting here saying I want to be involved with everybody, I'm working on a TV show, I'm doing this, to me, you're crazy if you don't want to get involved in this. Why would you not want to be around where there's all this magic happening, right? And I don't mean me like as in magic, but I mean all this cool stuff is happening. That's where you want to be, in the middle of the action, not over there on the bleachers watching it, because nothing's going to happen to you then. All you're going to be doing is sitting there going, man, that was an awesome show. Perfect. I'm glad you enjoyed watching it, because that was the dumbest decision you ever made. You didn't get involved. You didn't take advantage and exploit the opportunity that was in front of you. Exploit doesn't have to be a bad thing. I mean, for me, I've got integrity. And to me, again, I'm like John Maxwell, right? There's no such thing as business integrity and personal integrity. To me, it's all the same. You either have integrity or you don't. You either have this or you don't. So for me, it's all about creating the opportunity. I can't, I there is no way for me to share with you guys over and over enough about how legit I really am. For a year now, next week will be 1 year I've been doing this call. 1 year. 1 year. God, that's weird. And I've been doing, I mean, I remember starting this call. It hasn't changed. They still last anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. I still give you every single thing I have every single week. And I still do every single thing I can to make sure that I'm on here every single Sunday. In fact, next weekend, I'm going to be in Phoenix, and I'm actually leaving early so that I'm home in time to do the call, because that's how important this is to me, for it to be every single week, for me to be here for you, because there's so many people that leave you. There's so many people that say, I want to help, but then don't really mean it. There's so many people that when they get to a certain level, they stop doing the free stuff. And we started. And we're not giving up. We're not stopping it. We're continuing. We're giving more. I mean, the radio show is another way for us to reach more people, to connect more resources. And for me, man, I think it's awesome. I mean, if you guys followed me at all, you heard me say last year, my goal by the end of the year was to have a radio show 5 days a week live. Like, I remember saying that and thinking, how in the hell am I going to get there? Because I was on one day on Saturday mornings. That's it. And every time I asked anybody for help with radio, nobody, no, I don't know. I don't know. It's like, how the hell does nobody know anything? And I'd call radio stations, nobody would answer. I don't know. And it just took a ton of work. But finally, I figured it out and I got there. And so this year, I will be on TV by the end of the year. I'll have a TV show. No doubt in my mind. The pieces are already moving together. They're already being put in place. And so for me, the TV show, it's about opportunities. Again, that's it. That's the reason I want to do it, is for the opportunity, is the reason to get out there, for more people to see who we are, to see who I am, to see who Ivan is, who Coast to Coast is, and for us to link with more resources and more opportunities, to bring them to you, not just for me. Again, I don't care if I'm on every show, right? That won't happen. But no matter how big anything gets, I'm never going to stop doing this stuff, because this is where I love being. This is my connection. This is the way that I relate to everybody, and to that. I don't know, man. I think this is awesome. I do. I think this whole thing is awesome. I think you guys are awesome. I think the fact that we've got 63 people on here now. I think the fact that we're almost to a year, like, all these things are amazing. And so tonight is a special night, and we're going to get into all and how to create urgency right now. If you guys, if you have any questions or anything, we're also recording this, right? When I record it, I found out last week that when I put it up on YouTube, I can also attach it to the slide share, so that when you do go to c2cria.com and you check out this post, right, you're going to see the slide share in there. You can click through it to see all these different slides. And then also the video will be at the end explaining all the slides. So I think that's pretty cool. All right, going back and forth. Here we go. Go make something happen, guys. This is our motto. This is our mantra. This is, I mean, whatever you want to call it, battle cry is go make something happen. There's so many times in life that you've got door here, door there. Look, where you're at is where you've chosen to be. Now, if you don't like it, fine. That's awesome. That means get up, stop crying, pull up your pants, and let's move. Let's go. Right now is only a result of previous actions. Right now is only a reflection of who you were. It's not a reflection of who you are right now. So if you want things to be different, start doing things different right now, and you're going to start getting different results. That's the biggest thing that I can share with you. It's the most simplified answer, but it's real. It's exactly what I mean by when I was talking today, going, I need to find 2 people, help them flip a house. I need to just keep doing it. Just just make sure that if we flip that house, boom, I'm moving on to somebody. I get another person in, help them flip a house. If that first person still needs help, okay, we've got resources, but my goal is going to be to keep helping new people flip houses, period. That's what I'm going to do, because I know when it comes time for there to be an opportunity, I want that action to be happening. And the thing is once I start doing it, I'm not going to want to stop. Once I get into that system and get into that groove, it's just, I've got to create that system, I guess, for lack of a better word. Right. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to look over to the side here just to see if any of you guys, holy cow, you guys are all writing in all caps. All right. Thank you, Mike. And if you have any questions or anything, please, over there on the right side, just go ahead and write down anything you want, any questions you have. And as we go through, I will get to them as I can. All right. So let's wow, we're almost to an hour, man. Jeez Louise, the time goes by so fast. Okay. Go make something happen. You must be willing to shatter who you are for who you want to be. What does that mean? That means this weekend, this Sunday, every Sunday, 6 p.m., you guys should be on this call. This week, every week, you guys should be writing down your goals and sending them to me. Writing down your goals and tagging me on them on Facebook. In fact, that's what we're going to do. Write down your goals and then put the hashtag me or tag me in it, and then also hashtag journey to success. And that would just be in here. I'll even write it down for everybody. It's just going to be a hashtag journey, the number 2, success, and send to all. And that's what I want you guys to tag. Do that. Run that tag. You can do it on Twitter as well. But run your goals. Become accountable. I promise you guys do this week for me. I promise. Look, I am coming back from my vacation to visit my dad up in Arizona early next week. The one thing that you guys can do for me this week is write down your goals every day, tag them, and hashtag journey to success. Do that, because I promise when we talk next week, we're going to have some really cool things to talk about. And this is even what I'll do. I will pick one person a day, and I will comment on how they could. I will help. How can I do this? I will help one person that does that every day reach one of their goals. I think that could be cool, as long as it's not something ridiculous, right? Like I want to make $1 million today. That I'm not going to be able to help you do that. And don't make your goals stupid like that either, right? I'm going to make $1 million today. That's ridiculous. 10 times your goals, but don't make things that are out of the realm of possibilities. And then that's what I will do. I will focus on helping one of you guys every day reach some goal or part of that goal or assist you in getting to that goal. And I think that's pretty cool, right? I mean, that would be a is that interesting? I mean, does that excite you guys at all? Is that cool, or does nobody really care about that at all either? And you guys could just answer. Okay. All right, cool. All right, excellent. Let's see then. What else do we have? Let's get going. So questions are the key, right? Here we go. First thing we talked about was communication. Then we had verbal communication. What was nonverbal communication, right? Understanding your understanding your situation, creating willpower through pain. I really liked that episode a lot. Um, I still think that that's one of the most powerful chapters because it's so true how pain can really drive us forward. I mean, I talked about it again today, right? In the beginning of this call, I was talking about how I was sitting in that car thinking I had two choices. And I had to look at that pain and go and then run that film in my head of what it would be like if I wasn't there. What would my girls be like growing up without me? And what a coward I would be to walk away from all of that, right? And then just my God, how I would regret. Well, anyways, philosophical. So I made a different choice, though, right? And the question is, what has to happen to you to provide that pain, to provide that? Because if it isn't happening for you right now and you just kind of want to change, then we need to stick something in there and start leveraging that pain. We got to start creating more pain. You got to start thinking about, do you want your life to be like it is right now in 10 years? Is this all you want your life to be? When you think about your accomplishments, are you happy where you've accomplished? Most of us are going to say no. So start dwelling on that. Start focusing on that to really drive that spear in and create that drive to, man, so that nothing is going to stop you from going after your dream. That nothing will stop you from creating opportunity. That when it's time for you to stay up till 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock at night because you've got to get something done, that you're willing to do it. That you'll push through that because you see the benefits, because you're willing to be consistently excellent to get fantastic results. Are you? Are you willing to be consistently fantastic? Are you willing to get excellent results? Is that what you want out of life? I mean, that's something you guys have to answer, right? Definitely not something I can answer. I can show you day in and day out how I am driving forward nonstop. I do videos every single morning. And if you guys haven't seen them, you should definitely be watching them every morning. Today's was fantastic, man. Today's was really, really good. The girls were on fire. The message was clean, and it was just really cool. So if you guys haven't seen them, make sure you check them out. c2crea.com, right on the front page. And again, these are all free resources that I'm sharing with you guys. Not one of these things is something that we charge for. It's all about giving you guys stuff to make better choices, to create better opportunities for yourselves. All right. Chapter 6 was the impact of words because, man, words have a huge impact. That's going to come into play this chapter too. Chapter 7, the mindset of opportunity, right? And then we have the mindset of opportunity, by the way. I love that chapter. I love that name. I love all these names, actually. I've started creating my chapters to have a little cooler names now. But I love the words or the impact of words, right? And that chapter was like words with power or something like that. But the impact of words, because that's what they do. They impact you. The mindset of opportunity. Think about that for a second. What is a mindset of opportunity? It's a mindset that is always looking for the possible, always looking for how can it work, not how can't it work. How can it work? All right. How to communicate with others effectively. We talked about that last week. That is way important, right? People have to understand what you want to accomplish. They have to understand the direction you're going. They have to understand what your end result is. If they don't know where you want to go, nobody can help you get there, which is another reason why I constantly tell everybody where I'm going. so that if you can help me get there, that you can step up and help. I mean, it's again, and it's always about me helping you. So today is how to create urgency, right? How to create urgency right now. How do we do that? How do we create urgency with well, how do we create urgency with urgency? How do we create urgency with NLP or with words, with questions? Because that's where it's really going to come down to, right? Urgency doesn't just happen all on its own, does it? No. What happens? You hear an alarm. Whoop whoop, right? Hold on. I got this. You hear an alarm. Right? Now all of a sudden we're freaking out. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Now you have a sense of urgency, huh? Your heart's just beating, right? How else do we create a sense of urgency? Somebody runs in, house is on fire. All of a sudden you are pew, out of bed, running, right? What creates that sense of urgency? Do you guys know? Think about it. What do you think creates that sense of urgency inside of ourselves? It's going to come down to the questions and the result if we don't do something. You want to create a better sense of urgency? Start creating a apocalyptic situation if you don't do it. Believe me, if you had, let's say your dog, right? And somebody was holding your dog, or I don't want to say your child because what I'm going to say is bad. Let's just say your favorite wiggle, okay? And they had your favorite wiggle hanging over a cliff. And they said, if you don't get up and go over there right now, I'm going to drop this wiggle and he's going to fall all the way to the bottom of the canyon and die. Now, you're going to create a real big sense of urgency right now because you don't want him to die, or your child or your spouse or whatever, right? Your dog, your cat. You have this love and attachment and you care more about that not happening than this happening. You want to create a sense of urgency and you're afraid to jump over that line that you don't know what exists, right? And I don't mean, I'm going to say quitting your job right now, but I am in no way saying for everybody to go quit their job because that's not what I mean. But when you think about quitting your job and becoming a real estate investor full time, that could give people heart attacks, right? Oh my God, oh my God. Now it's just me. It's just me. And so what happens? Well, I'll just wait. 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 I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait, guys. I'm just gonna wait. Right? Because you're scared. You're scared of what? You're scared of what happens then. Well, what happens if Mr. Boss isn't the one cutting my check? Well, I understand that I'm on commission, but I come here to his job and I go and use his products and I sell his thing. Right. But when you become a real estate investor, you do your own thing. You sell your own thing. You are in control. When you're an entrepreneur, you have to rely on you, and that's it. And that's very scary for people. And so the key becomes, well, how do people become entrepreneurs then if that's so scary? Especially the ones that typically wouldn't jump outside of their comfort zone. Those people typically get fired, right? Think about the guy who just did the whole WhatsApp thing, right? And he's making $3 billion and they're talking about how this is this crazy, rise to fame story. And it is a great story. Don't get me wrong. It is a great story. Okay. But the reality behind the situation is that he's done a lot of work to play up and get into this side, and he was fired or let go, or not fired because of lack of intelligence, but like they closed it down or whatever. However, he lost his job. Right? He was put into the entrepreneurial spirit. He didn't show up there. He didn't go, you know what, F, Yahoo, I'm going to go do this on my own. That's not what happened. Yahoo said, we don't need this department or whatever. And now he went, okay, well, now I need a job. So he went to Facebook to get a job. Nope. Put it out on Twitter. Went to Twitter to get a job. Nope. Put it out on Twitter. And everybody's looking like, well, that's messed up. But he was forced into an entrepreneurial spirit where he got into business with somebody else. They designed this, and now he's making $3 billion. But he had to get forced into it. He had to create that pain. Well, he didn't create it, but it got created for him. So do you want to have to go through that? Because that's where your sense of urgency is going to come from. It's going to come from, you don't want that to happen so bad that you're getting up right now and making it happen. I think and lay in bed and I'm like, man, I do not want to be a piece of crap. I've got to get up and go work out. I don't want to be fat. I've got to get up and go work out. I don't want to be overweight. I've been 260 pounds. I don't want to be there again. Yeah, but this is only one day. You know what? It starts with one day. And then it's 2 days, and it's 3 days, and all of a sudden you aren't working out, and and now all of a sudden I'm wearing 44 pants again, and I'm a 260-pound giant, right? So it's about consistency. It's about sacrifice every day. I sacrifice that fat person inside of me every day and go to the gym so that the skinny person can be here. What is it that you create excuses around? I can't do this because of that. I can't do this because of that, right? All these can'ts, can't. All these shoulds. I should do this. I should do this. I should do this. Well, I'll try. I'm going to try. I'll try and do that next week. You can't try. When we talk about NLP, that's NLP. NLP is basically the way we react physically to words. It's neuro linguistic, right? So the way we react to things that we hear. When we hear the word try, we instantly go into a 50% mode. It's not even like 110. I'm going to try. It just dives. Dive, right? It's done. So you need to use the right words. You've got to use the right intent. And look, fake it till you make it. Yeah. Fake it till you make it. If you're not excited, man, pretend to be excited. How? Well, pretend. I'm excited. You want to pretend better? Start focusing on things that are great. Think about the day that your child was born. Think about the day you met your wife, the day you met your spouse, the day you got engaged, the day you graduated school, whatever it is that you have. Everybody's got like these great memories. Focus on those when you're in a bad mood and go, man, look, all I got to do is get back to that place. All I got to do is get back to that place. If I could get to that place, people are going to want to be, who's going to want to talk to me in this mood? Nobody. What kind of opportunities am I going to get in this mood? None. Is that really what I want? No. What do I want my result to be? I want my result to be here. Great. Start doing actions to get there then. Stop doing actions and hoping you get to this result. Start doing the actions that are dictated by that result. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like those laser guided missiles, right? And you know how like when they do that, like in the really low budget movies, right? They have that string that goes right to the bullseye, right? And there's a piece of string going right from there, and then they put the thing on it and they let it go and it slides and slides into it, right? That's what I'm talking about. When you focus your dreams and you write them down and you put them here, you're telling when you look at this object of where you want to get, and then you let your actions be dictated by where you want to be. It's like being on that little slide, just bink, and you land. So weird. I landed right where I wanted to. Well, why? Because you stared at the goal the whole time. You were thinking about the goal the whole time. You didn't let it waver. What you focus on, you get. What you focus on, you get. What you focus on, you get. If you're getting shit, you're focusing on that. Stop focusing on what you aren't getting. Stop focusing on what isn't going right. Stop focusing on all the crap in your life that isn't the way you want it. Start focusing on the things that are. Because here's the thing. When good things happen to people, it's weird how just more good things happen. Why? Because you expect it. When you expect bad things, think about this. So you're in a bad mood. You're all pissed off, right? Everything's been going wrong. Man, this is how my life is. This is how my life is, right? I wish I had come on. Wish I had a gun, right? this is how my life is. Woo! And I hate it. And then you're walking around and you've got that scowl on your face and I hate it and la. You're going to be just like that. Man, I want to use other really, really descriptive words right now about the gentleman that I saw last night. I'm talking on the phone. I'm on the phone, right? In line behind this guy. Or like I walked up and I was looking for stuff in AMPM or something like that. We were on our way back from Ivan's. And I'm in the store and I'm talking on the phone. The thing's in both ears, right? And you could see that I've got like things in both ears. But I'm talking to somebody who likes to talk a lot. So I'm not saying that much, right? Which is really not typical of me. And I'm just kind of, And then I'm standing in line and this guy in front of me, I now thinking back was like kind of taking a long time, right? But I wasn't really thinking about it. And then he said, and then I proposed to her on stage and I'm like, oh my God. And
And I remember out of the corner of my eye seeing the guy turn around and look at me, right? But I'm looking down, so it was like just I could just see the motion of him turning around and da 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 da. And then the lady called somebody and then he said next, and I walked up and I paid and I go to walk outside and I'm still talking on the phone. I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then this guy's like, hey, mama, right? Hey, mother blank. And I'm like, I'm still talking on the phone and I'm walking. He's like, yeah, I heard you, man. And then I like, okay, now what? And he goes, yeah, you what? It was taking too long, and I go, I was on the phone, bro. I don't know what you're. I don't give a f if you're on the phone. And I'm like, oh my god, you are an idiot. And then I just got in the car and I shut the door and I'm like, let's go. And he's just like freaking out, but it's like, man, the kid was 18. I could have bounced him off the concrete, right? The fact is, though, I don't know what his day was like. He doesn't know who I am. I mean, I could have a gun, a knife. No, he has no idea. He has no idea, but he's absolutely losing his mind over something that I wasn't even talking to him. Had nothing to do with him, wasn't even in his little world, right? I was in my own little world, but he was having a bad day. Because of that, he interpreted something as bad, which it wasn't. How many times have you guys misinterpreted a sign? Have you guys heard something and because you're in a bad mood, you interpret it in a bad way? A text message, an email, right? You're all pissed off. Somebody sends you a text, goes, "Yeah, right," and you're "Yeah, right" is the only words they use, right? No explanation, nothing else, just YEA space RIGHT, and you're pissed off, right? And you read that as what? Yeah, right. And so now you're like, look, mother, I'll tell you right now, I'll do whatever I want because I'm right. You know what I mean? But they were out having ice cream and they were playing with their kids or whatever, right? And somebody said something, they're like, oh my God, yeah, right. And they were just going, yeah, right, that would be awesome. So their yeah, right, that would be awesome was interpreted by you as yeah, right. Like, come on, punk, step up, let's go fight, right? I mean, I've done that. And that's the hardest thing, man. Last night, I'm telling you, it's funny too, because I was thinking I was going to talk about this. It must have taken me, and still today, I can get pissed off if I think about that kid. I really just want to go back and punch him in the face. But then I had to think, and this is what I did. Like, I was so irritated on the way home, right? I was so pissed off. And I'm like, I should have said this. I should have said this. I should have said this. I shouldn't have let him talk to me like that. Like, why did I do that? And I'm like, okay, how do I make this into a good thing? How do I make this into a good thing? Because right now, this is not a good thing. Right now, this is destroying my world. Like, I'm so irritated and angry, and I can't let it go. I've grabbed onto this thing so tightly. How can I let this go? How would this be a good thing? What would make this a good thing? And so I'm like, okay, well, the fact that I walked away, the fact that I didn't go and smack him around, the fact that I didn't go and thump him off of the concrete, right? My kids were in the car. My wife was in the car. That wouldn't have been a good call. And then I'm thinking, the other thing is as I get bigger, as we start doing more things, as we're more publicly seen, right? If when we do the TV show and everything, I don't want to be who's the idiot here in Marietta that got in trouble? Andy Dick, right? I mean, he got all wasted and was getting arrested. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that guy. So if my life, and then I thought about it, if I just got handed $1,000,000, would I have let that affected me, or what would I have done? And I'm like, I probably would have handed the guy $10,000 and told me, and then I wanted to go, told me he was an idiot, right? And I'm like, stop, I wouldn't have done that, because then I would have just been being a dick again, right? And that's not the point. I would have handed it to him and said, look, man, you misinterpreted this. Like, you've got to change your mindset, change your world. Now, in the mood he was in, $10,000 probably would have changed that, and he would have listened to me. Without any money, me just telling him, hey, bro, you need to chill out, because that's not the way this was. I could have seen him going sideways even more, and again, bad things could have happened. So the best thing for me to do was to leave. And so that was really the best thing I could come up with, which is why it wasn't a bad thing. And then this morning I woke up and it wasn't as big of a deal, and it's going away. It's fading, and I can't even see the guy's face now. So that's a good thing. But I want you guys to know that challenges happen to all of us on a consistent basis. And if you walk around in a pissed off mood, you're going to misinterpret somebody's sign and you're going to make the wrong decision. Somebody's going to say, hey, yeah, let me get back to you next week. And you're going to come off and get all pissed off and make a response to that. And you could have blown out
a deal that you were going to have and make 40 grand on because you got pissed off because you were in a bad mood. And so that's just a big point. And I don't know how I got spun off on that, man. And it's getting later again. But I hope I'm making it making sense. And yes. And Gil, that's right, Gil. Gil put out a thing today saying that he was putting out bandit signs on his. There you go, man, Gil. That was a perfect example. So Gil put out his goals today, and he tagged me in it, and he said, I'm putting out more bandit signs. I have 40 or 50 bandit signs, I think, in our garage that I just, about a year ago, if you guys remember, I was putting them out all the time, and I just, all of a sudden, we just got more things going on and more deals, and I didn't really need them, and I didn't have the time to go put them out. And I was going to bring somebody on to intern with me around here that could go put them out, but just didn't end up happening. And so he wrote that today, and I was like, man, I've been wanting to get rid of these. I almost threw them away like 3 times. And I said, you can have them. And that's because he put that out. That's because he made a comment. That's because he wrote down his goals. And when you write down your goals, people will help you achieve them. Perfect. Case in point. Thank you, Gil. That's such a great example. All right. Now, wait, what just happened? There we go. How can I use NLP to help me? Well, do you need to create more urgency in yourself right now? Can we create that urgency in ourselves? Yes. In fact, that's the best thing that you can use it for. I like using NLP on me. I don't necessarily agree with using it on other people. I know that a lot of people use it, it just becomes who they are, right? Because for me, NLP, people look at it as a bad thing. Well, it's not a bad thing. It's a way to communicate and get your point across. If people understand what you're saying, they understand how to react to it. If people don't understand what you're saying, they don't. They're going to say no. They're going to say, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's not going to be an effective use of your time. So things like saying, look, I will create this opportunity for us. That's NLP. I will create. I'm telling you what's going to happen. I'm basically forcing it into your mind. I'm not saying, well, I'm going to try and get it done. We should. I mean, it could make it, right? I use powerful words that are going to impact. And that actually falls right into the next one, which is how can I use NLP to communicate with others as well, right? It's the same thing. It's all of this really kind of works together in conjunction. It's about focusing on where are you going and how do you use communication to help you get there. The right kind of communication, the kind of communication that inspires action, not that is entertainment, right? Because there's a difference. And for us, it's about reaching those goals. It's about getting where you want to get. And I've really kind of covered these 3 topics throughout the whole presentation tonight because we were talking a lot about NLP. What does it do? The stories and examples that I told. If you guys have questions about it, though, please let me know. Right now, my voice is starting to get trashed and I can feel it. So I want to try and make sure I get through. Man, come on. Jeez. Okay. Hold on. It is like 1,000,000 degrees in here right now. I don't know why or how it got so hot when it was raining. I don't, or maybe it's just muggy or something. I'm not sure. I've got the window open though, and I'm so hot right now. All right. So, if you guys have questions though about what we're talking about, please ask them. We're gonna be ending probably in the next 15 minutes. So make sure that you get any questions that you guys do have in. I wanted to show you guys our website real quick and how you guys can navigate around it. Right there is our calendar tab. And when you look at the calendar tab, you're going to see all kinds of different the days of where we're going to be, when we're going to be there, from our live events to our webinars, to the radio show, and the guests that are going to be on the radio show. Like the only one we don't have on right now is Clint Coons, who's going to be on Tuesday. He's going to be talking about land trust. We've got all of our webinars. You can go on there and click select to subscribe to any of those. Our podcasts, our message line. So if you guys have questions that are relating to anything, you can go ahead and call and leave a message for us, and we will get back and answer it on the radio. You can also call us live on the radio Monday through Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. Pacific at 760-931-1604. Also, from 10 to 11 a.m. Pacific, you can go to c2crea.com, and right there on the front is that button. Just click that button and it'll spin up and work. The Connect with Us tab, if you click that, you can go ahead. It has our links to Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, all that stuff to get you guys connected with us. That is our play button. So if you guys just go to our website, you can click that and you can listen to our show live from LA to around the world. There's our daily motivational video that we put in that section. Today's radio show goes right there. And then you guys can also download my ebook. And it's pretty cool. It just pops up a little thing, put in your information, and then it emails it right to you. And that's the first book, which is Force Your Dreams into Reality. The second book I'm writing right now, which is the one we're going over, is Questions Are the Key to Unlocking Your Reality. So first, we're going to force our dreams into reality, and then we need the key to unlock it, right? So we can walk in, we can step in. That book, the first book, Force Your Dreams, is only 40 pages. Guys, if you have not read it, do yourself a favor, check it out, read it. I promise you will get something out of it. Read it once a week. It is a great book. It's a shorthand manual, basically. It's my way to be with you every day and motivate you. All right. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm writing that second book. It's already at 50 pages, and I don't even have, I think, 3 of the chapters written yet. It's going to be a lot bigger, and it's going to be a lot more detailed because there's a lot more information that goes into how to ask the right questions and how to make sure you're doing it effectively, because that is your foundation. The questions that you ask yourselves, guys, they are the foundation of who you are. They will guide your life. They will tell you what you can do, and what they will show you what you don't believe you can do as well. All right. And for me, anything is possible as long as you go after it. As long as you have enough drive and focus, you can make it. It's just up to you. All right. So let's see. Where else are we? All right. Assisted living. We've got that going on in April. If you guys are interested in that, that was kind of what I was talking about too earlier, although that's a training for it. But that also reminds me, I mean, that's another thing to put into where if we're in different markets, that's another opportunity that somebody could go, well, I want to get involved in this. How could I get involved? Right there, man. If we need 3 markets, we obviously can't be in 3 places at the same time. So being able to have boots on the ground in a market that would support doing 10 to, well, let's just say 10 so that we're not going up from there, because I'd rather stay 10 steady, but 10 ALFs a month indefinitely, right? Or at least for the next like 5 years or something like that. That would be pretty crazy. I mean, that man, that would 10 ALFs a month, just from a standpoint of bird dogging and setting those up, would probably be $5,000 per, which is just crazy. Again, now you're talking about 50 grand a month for setting them up, and that's just keeps going. So make sure right here you're going to check it out. Monday is you, as far as the radio show goes. You are our guest. On Tuesday, it is not going to be Doug. It is going to be Clint Coons, who's going to be talking about land trusts. At 6:00 on Tuesday night, we're going to be going into our webinar Experts Corner. This one is Acquisitions and Action. We're going to be talking about why Atlanta is a great market. We're going to be talking about how we're going there, different things that you can see, expect, and how you can get involved either here or there, or come with us, or stay at home and find property. I mean, it's up to you. Again, it's about creating a big resource, right? The more people I have looking for deals for us, the better the training is going to be, bar none. So if you're interested and you want to wholesale deals to us, I'm okay with that. I have no problem. As long as it's a deal, we'll pick it up. And if you want to wholesale deals to me in California, as long as it's a deal, I'll pick it up. And again, I'm looking for people to get involved with me too. So on Wednesday, we have Jim Simcoe, Building Green. He's all about building green products and how it's not that much more, but the sustainability of it is a lot longer. So that's going to be a really cool topic. Thursday, we have Keith Grogan, who is our Atlanta expert, and our realtor expert. We've got Ivan Oberon's Bird Dog Call that night as well. All right. And then Friday, we've got Justin Velthoen talking about SEO, because the following Tuesday on Experts Corner, Justin is going to be on there starting a series that we're doing on how to increase your SEO. And I think I'm going to pull it. It was going to be a 7-part series every other week. And then we would just keep filling in other experts, right? Like Clint Coons is going to come in. Mark Kohler is going to come in. We've got Jason Cupp is going to be coming in. Jillian Sidoti. A lot of different people. Eddie Speed. So, anything from note buying. And I want to get more. I mean, more variety too. Not just those strategies, but like, I don't know, anything. I mean, anything. Windmills, like all kinds of different stuff. Let's get let's get creative and make it fun, right? Because you never know what you could actually be interested in or connected to. So that's what we're going to be doing then. April 11th through 13th, we're going to be doing April in Atlanta, acquisitions and action. That's going to be an amazing trip, guys. We're going to be buying properties there. I plan on coming back with at least 5. So, and you could get involved with us, without us. I mean, however you want to get involved, it is a buying trip. So everybody will be presented with opportunities there to actually pull the trigger on, not just talk about, but actually pull the trigger on and get involved. Okay. And then let's see, what else do we have? Oh, here's our allergic to average radio. By the way, I love this. I love that logo too. And I even incorporated the picture into it so people could see kind of more of who we are. This just goes back into what we were talking earlier about every Monday through Friday, 10 to 11, 760-931-1604 as far as the call-in live line, and then 888-570-7464 as far as the message line goes. And these are the books that I would suggest. I think they're amazing. Force Your Dreams into Reality, obviously. Unfair Secrets of Hypnotic Selling with NLP. That's going to show you also how to write and write words. And it's weird, too, because you can use italics and just italic some of the words, and people will read the whole sentence. But when you stand back, like all of a sudden those words pop out. And if they read in a sentence, it's pretty cool. For instance, like we could have been like, this would be a good one. So if you look down here and you see, I have read all these books and love them, right? Now watch. I take this out. I come in here. Italicize. Oop. Italicize. Now, when you look at that, it looks different now, doesn't it? I mean, honestly, you look at it and you're like, okay, I should have read all these books and love them, or I have read all these books and love them. And then you just keep looking. And when you look at it, it's like, read all these books. It stands out. Subconsciously, that is telling you to now go. I should have had that in there, actually. But subconsciously, that's telling you to go read these books, right? That is cool. And in fact, the last one, Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi, I actually have the audio of that. And I can, if you guys want it, I can go ahead and send it to you as well. Just let me know. Email me at Pete, P-E-T-E, at C2CREIA.com. And I will send that to you. In addition, I want to make sure that you guys are always connected to everything. So if you have not gone and become a national member of ours, or plugged into our national group, and that gets you access to our community investor magazine. It gets you connected to all kinds of other free resources, community buying group, all of that stuff. All you got to do is go to c2crea.com/join. That's JOIN. c2crea.com/join. This PeteAsmus.com, at PeteAsmus.com. We have our new logo for Go Make Something Happen. I wanted to put it there because I love this logo and I love the movement. I love what we have going on. We have wristbands there like these right here. They're $3. If you guys don't have $3 to get one and you really want one, not a problem. Email me. I'll send you one for free. It's not about the money for me. Now, don't email me and ask me for 50 of them, because that's not going to happen. I'll send you one. Then if you want more, if other people want more, have them come in. Again, they're $3. We're not getting rich off of them. We just want to help build this movement out. You'll also see that my daughter, that's turning 6 on Wednesday, March 5th. She's turning 6 and she was all excited about it. And we're going to be doing something for her birthday. And anyways, we've got God, what the hell am I talking about? I don't know how I just got spaced out. It's late. I think I'm done at this point. My voice is trashed. But anyway, so that's what's going on. She's got wristbands on there and other things. But let me get to some of these questions. Michael, how long should you keep doing something until you should change tactics? How long should you stick something out? You know what? It depends on what you're referring to. I know that I've spent 8 years getting to where I am right now. It didn't just happen overnight. And the opportunities that I now have that are presenting themselves have taken 8 years to get here, man. And I mean, honestly, if you really think about it, it's taken a lot longer than that, because when I was 20, I wanted to be on TV. I mean, I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be doing sketch comedy. I wanted to make people laugh. I wanted to inspire people at that age. And I just didn't have an avenue to do it. And so I basically had to go and create my own platform so that I could create my own reality and make it happen. Um, as far as real estate goes, if you're specifically asking that question, I think it depends on what you mean. If you're talking about you've been doing this one strategy, like putting up bandit signs over and over, and you've been doing it for 4 months and nothing's happening, you don't necessarily need to change the chat. You don't make a right turn. You change trajectory, but you don't make a right turn. It doesn't mean you give up doing real estate. It doesn't mean you give up doing bandit signs. It means you put them up in different places. You change what you're writing. What you're doing isn't working. We got that. So we change what we're doing. We don't just throw in the towel on it. You change what you're doing. I think that's the easiest way to answer that. But you give it time. Don't do it for a week, a month. I mean, things take a long time. And if you do nothing, and here's the other thing, if you keep changing, right, how are you ever going to get traction on anything? Because you're only in this for a week, a month, a week, a month, a week, a month. You're not giving anything the time it needs to evolve. And the other thing is, if you would have started doing something 2 years ago, where would you be now? And we always, looking back is easy, right? It's like, well, yeah, I get that. But okay, well, now it's time to look back, but look forward and go, I'm going to do this for the next X number of months. Maybe you give yourself time. I'm going to do it for 12 months. If it doesn't work in 12 months, then I'm going to change strategies. Then I'm going to change something. And maybe you dedicate a little less time to it and start picking up another route. And without specifically knowing what you're talking about, it's really hard for me to give general advice, if that makes sense. But I think that answers that question, right? Michael, did that do that for you? I hope so. And if not, if you want to ask more specific, you can email me and I can hit you back up on a private email if that's better for you as well. All right. So anybody else have any other questions for tonight before we head off and I can go eat some dinner and let my voice rest before tomorrow at 10 o'clock. And I hope you guys call in, man. I say this every time. And I don't know what it's going to take. I suppose once I'm on A&E and I'm big and famous, then you guys are going to want to call in and be on the radio show. I hope it's before then, man, because I'm telling you right now, you guys are getting in on the ground floor at Pete Asmus. I'm on my way up. Right now is the ground floor. You're getting to know me for me, not anything else. So why wouldn't you want to come in and take advantage of all the resources that we're offering you guys? Get in on the ground floor. So many people have wanted to get in on ground floors of MLMs, of this, of that. This is your opportunity, except we don't charge anything to get involved. We're not asking you. The only thing we're asking for is time. Give us your time. Pay attention to what we're doing. Pay attention to the webinars, to the videos, to all of this stuff, and utilize it. Use these resources. When I reach out, when Ivan reaches out, when we tell you, hey, look, we can see you working with us. We can see this as being an option. Don't say, yeah, okay, and then run away. Run towards it. Run towards the opportunity. Run towards the challenge. Get involved, though. So many of you guys could be involved, and you're just not. You're just not, because you don't think that you're good enough. You don't think that people care. You don't think that we're real. I don't know what it is, but it cracks me up because when I talk to people, well, I think I'm bugging you. You're not bugging me. If you were bugging me, I'd hang up the phone. Do you think that I have a problem saying when people bug me? I mean, I sit there and I kill Ivan every single day on the radio. I have no issue telling somebody to shut up. None. I did it yesterday. I was talking to somebody. I'm like, look, man, you got to stop, bro. You're not giving me any chance to talk. And if I don't talk, I don't understand why I'm on this conversation, because you're asking me for my input. Right? So I've got to have the chance to talk. I don't have any problem telling anybody to stop, to shut up, to listen to what I'm saying. But I also am very polite. Like, I'm not going to interrupt you just to be a jack. If I'm doing it, it's because you're going off tilt. But I care. I do. I care. Ask anybody that's come on any of our meetings, on Wednesday night meetings. I care. I dedicate my time. I care about you reaching your goals. It's just crazy to me that I care more than you guys do sometimes. Not a lot of times I care more than you do, because I put more work into your life than you do. I put more work into your strategies than you do. And it shouldn't work that way. It should be you doing it. And it needs to be you doing it. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you jump, the sooner you're going to get where you're going. And you're going to reach that destiny. Believe me, going through the fire, going through the being scared, going through the heart palpitations, but the nervousness, all of that stuff, guys, you're going to make it through every single bit of it, because you are amazing. And this is what kills me, is that everything inside of you is there. Everything that you need to get where you want to go is right there. It's nowhere else. Nobody has your key. Nobody. You. You have your key. You have the key to do whatever you want. It all lies in the questions. I promise you that. I promise you. Just start asking different questions. Start doing things that are going to break that mold. When you're like, well, I want to relax, I want to go to sleep. Okay, what would make me stop and what would make me go more? What would make me do more in this situation? What would make me stay up later? What would I have to tell myself? Ask yourself those empowering questions and get those answers, because that's what's going to change you. Not asking well, when should I start? When would it happen for me? How come this always happens to me? I never get where I want to go. All those things, man, that take out your legs. All those excuses that are the reasons why you can't get where you want to go. The excuses. They're not excuses, Pete. They're reality. I have a job. Okay. You have a job. I get it. But I have to sleep. I get it. I have to eat. I get it, man. We all had to do that. We all had to do that and make it through. So why are you different? What makes you so different that you don't have to go through any of this bullshit, that you don't have to sacrifice anything, that you just get to walk through? It doesn't work that way. And until you understand that no matter how much everybody helps you, you still have to go through the fire, you're not going to reach it. Because even if I give you all the answers, even if I gave you $1 million, it wouldn't affect your life. All it would do is be a quick vacation for you. And then you'd be poor. And you'd be worse off than you were now, because you never learned how to make the money. You didn't learn how to generate it. You didn't learn how to create contacts. You didn't learn how to stay up later than you didn't want to. You didn't learn how to sit there and talk to people that you weren't really interested in, because you had to find something that way you could connect and find an opportunity. And then after 4 hours of listening to them, you finally found a way to connect. You haven't done that. You haven't done any of it. But you want all the rewards. You haven't planted the seed. You haven't watered that effing seed. You haven't done any of that work, but you expect the apple tree to be right there and you to be able to just pop off the apple and start eating. And that's not going to happen. It just won't. It'll never happen. Just like I don't remember if I told you guys last week. No, it couldn't have been last week, because it just happened talking to the casting director. She said that she did a whole lot of research looking for somebody to pitch for this show. And she researched a lot of different people. And I was the only person who didn't make a bunch of claims, who didn't say, hey, come with me and I'll make you a millionaire in 4 weeks, who didn't say, hey, if you just follow my 3 easy step system, you will be a millionaire. And I said, well, I don't lie to people. I said, if you also Google my name, you're going to see I don't have any complaints. I don't have lawsuits. I don't have any of that crap. She goes, no, I did. And all of them did. They all had lawsuits. They all have complaints. They may make they may make more money than me. And hey, let's say they make a lot more than me doing it that way. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with making the money I make, doing it the way that I do it. Because you can Google my name and there's no complaints. You can I don't lie to people. I don't make things up. I don't tell you something is going to happen when it isn't. I'm going to tell you the worst case scenario and then say, look, this is the way we plan it going. This is what could go wrong. And if it does, there's nothing I can do about that. But as long as these things happen, this is where we should end up. Now, why am I saying this? Because of all this data that proves that this is going to happen. But let me tell you, real estate investing is a gamble. Period. It is. You cannot guarantee results. You can't. There's no way for me to say you're going to put in all this energy. There's no way for me to say that you're going to be as dedicated as I am. There's no way for me to say that you're willing to give up a year of your life with your family like I did. Like I did. Giving up, putting my kids to bed. Giving up, waking up with them in the morning and being able to hold them while I was in bed. Giving up, being even around them sometimes. I gave it all up. Probably a little longer than a year, actually. All of you guys want to be kicking it out on that yacht right now. And that's not you. That is a result of work in action. It is not the action that you do to become a millionaire. You don't just lay out on a yacht. That's a model's job, right? And that only lasts for so long too. So what you want is going to be created off of work. And that work is going to be harder at first and less as time goes on. That work is going to be a whole lot of work for a little bit of money. And then as time goes on, it's going to be a whole lot of money for a little bit of work because of everything that you did building up to it. Not because you started at the end. Do you see what I'm saying? This is work. But when you do it right, when you believe in yourself, the fulfillment is 100-fold. The fulfillment is a casting director finding you on Instagram and asking you if you want to do a TV show because you fought your whole life to make it here, because you've been doing everything the right way, because you haven't lied to get where you are. You don't make false promises, because you don't put people together. You don't scam people, because your integrity, because your brand is more important than everything. And because you've spent years putting in the time, the work, and the effort. Not a day, not a week, not a month. It's a long time. But the other alternative is you're going to work for some other guy or some other girl or some big company for the rest of your life. And that isn't an option either. So don't look at that as an option. It isn't. It doesn't matter if you just spent 2 hours a night for the rest of this year, for the rest of 2 years. You spent 2 hours a night focusing on your goal and creating it. Doesn't matter. That 2 hours, you were all about your goal. 100 million, 100 million miles a minute, right? Going after that goal during that 2 hour time frame. I promise you, in 2 years, you will be where you want to be. You just will be, because you're doing everything you need to do to get to that. And I promise, as you put in 2 hours a night and 2 hours a night going after it, all of a sudden it's going to be like 3, 4, and then you're going to turn around and you're going to be up all night doing this because you love doing it now, because you've trained yourself that that's exciting, because you're building your life, because you're looking at building this entire empire like you look at going to the gym. People don't look at going to the gym and go, oh shit, I got to go to the gym now and get in the car and slam the car door and drive all the way to the car all pissed off, banging into to telephone poles and banging into to cars, right? All the way to the gym, and then get out and get all pissed off and cussing the whole way into the gym, and then get in the gym and throw their keys at the lady and go ahead, sign me in. I got to go do this shit now. And they go in there and they start running and they're all pissed. They don't do that. First of all, if that was my gym, I'd be kicking your ass out going, you're a psycho, get the hell out of here. They're excited about it. They look forward to challenging their body. So why not look at real estate investing like that? Like that 2 hours is your workout, man. You're going to go get pumped, right? This is my 2 hours, man. I got to get dedicated. I'm stretched. I'm all stretched up, right? And now it's time to bang out some reps. Hi, how you doing? My name's Pete Asmus. I'd like to buy your house. Whatever. And do your reps. I'm going to create something out of this. I'm telling you right now, this fits too well together. Doing reps, right? Because we talk about working out. So I've got to create some kind of thing, some kind of program or word tagging that'll relate to this though. But it is, you got to do your reps, right? Have you done your barbell curls? Have you called all your sellers? Have you done your presses? Have you called all your buyers, right? Have you done everything? Are you creating more opportunities? And people are like, well, where do I look for deals? Well, where do you look for deals? Where do you find deals? It's not the MLS. If you're looking for deals in the MLS, that's why I put out the thing and I got everybody hitting me up going, yeah, there's no 20%. You can't get 20%. Not on the MLS, you can't. But I don't care about the MLS. I'm not looking for the MLS. That's why I didn't go to a realtor and say, can you find me a deal? I didn't ask a realtor because I know what a realtor is going to say. There aren't any. Why? Because they never make it there. I need to find it off market, off listing. So I either need to find an asset manager with properties. I need to find somebody. So I put it out there. And it just shows you where people's heads are. You're not going to find 10%, 20%. Give me a break, man. You're telling me that everybody in California is only making 20% on flips? Bullshit. That's not happening. They're making way more than that. That's ridiculous to think that. So stop. Or I'm sorry, 10%. They're making way more than 10%. So stop thinking that way, right? There's an opportunity out there. You've got to find it. You've got to find it and stop looking where you're looking. If you're looking there, it's the wrong place. So what do you spend that 2 hours doing? Calling people, getting on LinkedIn, finding other real estate investors. Hey, just wanted to give you a quick call, see if you had any properties, any deals, any opportunities. You spend that 2 hours doing that too. And now, once a week, you're calling this person, that person. You're starting to develop relationships. And you're always calling in a great mood, offering them something. Do you see what I mean? This is where the genius happens. This is where the reality happens. That's how you really create success, is by planning it and making something happen. All right, guys. I think I went off. Holy crap. Okay. I think I went off for a long time. I don't know where you guys started writing at. Okay, so I'm gonna read this now, and I'm gonna keep this thing going because I like recording when we do this because I never know what I'm gonna hear. Because I was ready to be done, right? And then Michael asked that question, and we just went on another 15-minute spree where I felt completely energized. And I think that's probably some of the best information, or some of the top information from this call right there, right? And again, I'll ask it again, please, guys. Share your goals. Tag me in your goals. Share this experience too. If you guys are liking what's happening, if you like this call, if you like what I'm doing, share it with people. Because can you imagine if all of your friends listened to this and thought like this and did this as well? How far would you be? Don't be shy. I mean, honestly, anyways, okay. Emotional ups and downs, learning real estate and not succeeding is very hard. Stress is tough. Fire is hot. Each failure is pissing me off, and I'm more motivated with each failure. That's good. That's a really good way to be, because here's the thing, guys, and I promise you, this is real. At some point, somebody's going to say yes, and you're going to get a deal. I promise you, if you keep going after it, it will happen. How many is that going to take? I don't know. 5? I don't know. 100? I don't know. 1,000? I don't know. I can tell you that Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, went to 1,100 different people before he got a yes. I can tell you that there are many other people that have been doing this for 5 years and still haven't got a deal yet, and then got one. I can tell you that there are people that have done this for a month and have made 50 grand. I don't know where you lie in that. But I do know this. If you keep doing this, eventually you're going to get your first deal. And when you do, you're going to know what number that is. And now you're going to know how many no's you need to do to get to a yes. So if I were you, I would be excited about these no's, because every time I get a no, I'm that much closer to a yes, man. I've got that. I got a tick. I got a tick. I got a tick. I got a tick. There's my yes. It takes me 300 no's to get to a yes. I don't care what that number is. I just want to know what that number is, because now, man, I am running through no's to get to my next yes. But here's the thing. Every time you get a yes, the number shrinks. So if it took 300 the first time, second time, it might only take 250. Third time, 200. Fourth time, 125. Fifth time, 75. I mean, it's exponential. The more yeses you get, the more your brand gets around. And now people are bringing you deals, which means all of a sudden now what? Now you're not looking at 300 to get a deal. Now you have a deal that's brought right to you. It's a 1-for-1. But until you get into the motion, until you start doing things, people don't just believe you. They don't go, oh, so you want to be in real estate? Awesome. Well, here's a deal, and here's a deal, and here, hold on. Let me go get all my people, and I'll just keep giving you the deals. You haven't done anything yet. You haven't proved yourself. You're walking around with your hand out instead of walking around with your brain out, with your mind out. Instead of walking around asking how you can help other people, you're walking around asking other people how they can help you. That's the wrong mindset. And you're not going to get where you want to go at all focused on you. Promise. When you focus on everybody else, when you focus on those around you will focus on you. Now it's not you, one person, trying to go after your goal. Now you've got 50 people helping you get to where your goal is. Like Gil putting out today, I need to put out more bandit signs, and me going, man, this is awesome. Look at what he's doing. How do I not want to help this guy? How do I not want to step up? He came to our meeting. He brought his wife. He brought his sister. He brought his mom. He brought other people. How do I not want to help him? why would I not want to step up and do more for him? I would. And I did. I'm giving him 40 or 50 bandit signs. And I mean, those things, I think we paid $300 or $400 for them, right? So it's not like they're not worth anything. They're definitely worth something. But when I see somebody else that's providing value and is doing what they can to make things happen, I'm going to step up too. And that's why I'm saying when you focus on those around you will focus on you. That's a perfect example of what I mean. All right. Let's see. You are very welcome, Mike, for the webinar tonight. I enjoyed hearing it. I'm going through some family stuff right now, but it's good. Going through the family thing right now, the family thing right now. So family thing, everybody's kind of biting at you right now. You're kind of hearing like, when are you going to make it? How come this isn't working? Is that what you mean? Answer me real quick, and I'm going to keep reading here. Have you done your daily sets and reps? Oh my God, that's great. I love that, Gil. Have you done your daily sets and reps? Is that what I said, or is that you? I don't know if you quoted me on that or what, but I think that's awesome. That is what I should call it. Have you done your daily sets and reps? Because that's what it's all about. Doing your daily sets and reps. What are you doing to grow your body? What are you doing to grow your mind? What are you doing to grow your real estate business? It's the same thing. Let's get excited about going out and making something happen. Let's get excited about going out and doing real estate. Have a positive view of it, not a crappy one. If you get all pissed off and bummed out, I got to go do my real estate stuff now. Yeah, there's my 2-hour block. Okay, well, that's dumb. Don't even do it. Why would you even get involved in it at that point? You're already pissed off. You don't want to do it, so don't do it. You need to change that mindset to where you're excited about doing it, that you look forward to it, all right? That you see the growth. Thank you very much, Mike. Awesome. I appreciate it. Lack of family time. Yes, believe me. So what Michael said was that he's going through the lack of family time right now, the doing that sacrifice. And I want to share with you guys right now, sacrifice is giving up stuff you want. It's not called sacrifice when you give up stuff that you don't want. It's giving up stuff you want. And it's the hardest thing that you have to do. But think about it like this, and this is one of the things I started doing, Michael. I started going, you know what? This is going to be so awesome because I thought about me being able to do what I just did. I thought about me being able to say what I just said. Michael, focus on all the sacrifice you're doing. At some point, you're going to be able to look at somebody and go, I did that. I know exactly what that's like because I did it. And when I was done, this is what the other side looks like. But I can't jump you over here. And Michael, you're going to be able to say that to him. You're going to be able to, that's what you should be excited about. That's what you should be looking forward to. Getting excited that you're giving all this stuff up. Getting excited that you're shedding all this, man, I know you want it, but this, walls, the thing, the excuses. And I hate to say a family is an excuse because it's so contradictory, but they are. They will become major excuses of you not doing things. Well, it's my daughter's birthday. It's my daughter's first this, first that, first this, first that. Let me tell you, it's going to be her first everything going up all the way through high school, right? And I'm just getting into that and I get it. And it's like, man, I've really got to work certain things around so that I make it because certain things are super important. There's no way I'm going to miss them. And then certain things I'm going to have to eat and realize that either I've got to figure out a different way to do it or I'm going to miss it. But let me tell you right now, if I was starting, I'd be missing everything. I would. I gave up a lot of my time when they were really young. So I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, where other people had, when they were 1 and 2 and 3, that's the time that I really sacrificed. So like I said, like that time was really precious for me when I could hold them and they like fit right here, right? Where Grace is getting right now. I'm so glad that my life is where it's at because now I get to experience that with Grace. And I didn't get to that all the time with the girls. In fact, some mornings I actually got up at 3:00 in the morning to go work out. I swear to you, I'd go work out at 3. I'd be back by, or I'm sorry, I'd go work out at 4. So I was back by 5:30 when the girls would kind of be and the sun's just coming up, and I'd go take a shower, jump back in bed, and then sleep in bed with them for the next hour and a half, just because I still wanted to work out. Things had to happen, but I didn't want to miss that time. So there's always ways that you can adjust things if you have to, but you're going to give up something. And it may be sleep then. Maybe the family is not what you want to give up. So you're going to give up some sleep. But there's going to be a ton of sacrifice, not a little, but a ton of sacrifice involved. It's all worth it though. Because the more you give up, the more the reward, oh my God, it's going to taste so much better because you worked for it. You earned it. It wasn't handed to you. $1 million handed to you is much different than you earning that $1 million through hard work and effort. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tonight. I appreciate it. And great. I'm almost at 2 hours. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And I look forward to you guys every single week. If I didn't, man, there's no way I'd be doing this for 2 hours, right? If this was just a job to me, I wouldn't even be doing it. I wouldn't even be doing it at all. But you can really tell the love and passion that I have because of the length of time and the amount of effort that I give to this. I mean, I was doing that intro all the way up till the very end. I want things to be cool for you guys. I want things to be interesting and to be fun. And with that, let's go ahead and let's kill Ivan real quick just for fun, right? Guys, have a great day. Have a great night. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.